A sleek, steel and glass skyscraper pierces the foggy skyline. The revolving doors of Veritas Global Holdings spin endlessly as a sea of polished shoes shuffle in. Inside, corporate sharpness, marble floors, digital welcome screens, security desks buzzing with badges and credentials. Receptionist, 30s, corporate polished, taps rapidly at her screen. A list of interview candidates appears on her monitor. Names, times, departments. Suddenly the doors open again. A tiny figure steps in. She's maybe 8 years old. Petite. Big brown eyes. Neatly combed hair tied into pigtails with blue ribbons. Dressed in her mother's oversized blazer, sleeves nearly to her wrists, and clutching a leather portfolio awkwardly in both hands. Her shoes click delicately against the floor. Receptionist doesn't notice her at first, then glances up and freezes. Receptionist, softly, confused. "Hi there. Are you lost?" Little girl. "No, ma'am. I'm here for the 9 o'clock interview." She straightens her back, eyes steady. Receptionist, stunned. "You're here for the interview?" Little girl. "Yes, for the executive assistant role. My mom couldn't make it, so I came instead." She places the portfolio on the desk, carefully opens it. Inside, a handwritten note, some documents, and a photo of her mother. Early 30s, smiling in a nurse's uniform. Receptionist, gently. "Sweetheart, this is a very important company. We don't do pretend interviews." Little girl, "It's not pretend." She points to the note. The receptionist hesitates, then reads. Insert. Handwritten. Note. "If you're reading this, something's happened. I never miss interviews. My daughter is smarter than me, braver too. If you can spare 5 minutes to hear her, you might understand." Clara Monroe, receptionist, reading aloud, softer now. "Something's happened." She looks up. "What happened, sweetheart? Where's your mom?" Little girl. "She collapsed this morning, in the kitchen. I called 911. She told me this interview mattered. And she told me where the building was." She lifts her chin. Little girl, conted. "So I came." A beat. The receptionist just stares. Then, from across the room, a voice cuts in. Voice, OS. "What the hell is going on?" In T, CEO floor, elevator hall. Moments later, Eric Dane, 45, tall, composed, designer suit, CEO of Veritas, strides toward the elevator. On his Bluetooth headset, Eric. "If they're not prepared for the board pitch, fire the whole team. I don't reward excuses." He steps into the elevator, presses lobby, sees his reflection, smooths his collar. Cold, commanding. NT. Lobby, continuous. As the little girl stands silently, eyes fixed forward, Eric exits the elevator and sees her. He halts. The receptionist walks toward him, half whispering. Receptionist. "Sir, there's a situation." She gestures slightly toward the girl. Eric eyes her, confused. Eric. "What is this? Someone lose their kid?" Receptionist. "No, sir." She says she's here for the executive assistant interview, in her mother's place. A long pause. Eric scoffs. "Are you serious?" He steps toward the girl. Looms. Eric, conteed. "Young lady, do you know what company this is?" Little girl. "Yes, sir. Veritas Holdings. You're the CEO. You went to Wharton. You tripled revenue last quarter, but laid off 200 people. My mom said you're brilliant, but sometimes heartless." A pause. Even Eric flinches. Eric, slowly. "Your name?" Little girl, Lila Monroe. Eric, "And your mother?" Little girl, Clara Monroe. That hits something. He seems to recognize it. Eric, interested now. "Clara Monroe?" NT boardroom. 15 minutes later, the glass-walled boardroom is cavernous. Lila sits in the center chair, legs swinging, still in the oversized blazer. Eric sits across from her. Other executives stand at the glass, whispering. Eric, why are you here, Lila? Lila, because this job could have changed things for us. My mom said so. And when she fell, I remembered what she said. Eric, and what was that? Lila, be brave even if your voice shakes. A pause. Eric slowly opens the portfolio she brought. There's a copy of Clara's resume, excellent references, solid experience, and a crayon drawing tucked behind it. It shows a woman at a desk, smiling, with the caption in a child's writing. My mom working in a big office. Her dream, Auntie Clara's apartment. Flashback. Earlier that morning, Clara Monroe, 33, is in a small, dim kitchen, wearing a second-hand blouse. She's exhausted, pacing, practicing answers aloud. Clara. I bring stability, empathy, and a sharp organizational mind. Lila watches from the hallway. Clara. You'll walk me to the bus stop? For luck? Lila. Only if I get a chocolate donut after. They laugh. Suddenly, Clara gasps. She drops her coffee mug. It shatters. She clutches her chest, wobbles. Lila, Mom! Clara collapses. Int, Veritas boardroom, present. Eric stares at the drawing, then at Lila. Eric. Where is she now? Lila, ICU? St. Mary's. She holds back tears. Lila, haunted. I don't know if she'll wake up. Silence. The executives behind the glass are now dead quiet. Eric swallows. He looks again at the resume, then at the drawing, then at this tiny girl who showed up like a soldier. Eric, softly. Okay, let's begin the interview. NT ICU, same time. Clara lies unconscious. Machines beep steadily. Tubes and wires. Her phone buzzes beside her. On screen, missed call, Veritas Holdings, INT boardroom. Later, Eric finishes the interview with Lila. He rises. Eric, come with me. NT, Veritas, parking garage. Moments later, he's walking her to his car. Black Mercedes. Door opens with a click. Lila. You're driving me? Eric. Yes. To your mom. They drive off into the city. The most powerful man in the company behind the wheel, the tiniest girl beside him. No words, just the city, passing in silence. In T, St. Mary's ICU. Later, Eric stands beside Lila in the cold, sterile room. They look at Clara, motionless in bed. Eric's face breaks for the first time. Eric, quiet. Why didn't I remember her? He reaches out and gently places the crayon drawing beside Clara's pillow, then turns to Lila. Eric, Cantide, I promise. We're not going to leave her behind. A tear slips from Lila's eye. She nods. INT, St. Mary's Hospital. Intensive Care Unit. Day. A hushed, humming silence. Machines beep in slow, regular rhythm. Sunlight seeps through dusty blinds. Clara Monroe lies unconscious in the ICU bed. Pale, fragile. Tubes snake around her body. Her chest rises and falls faintly. Beside her, the drawing Lila brought. Crayon lines. Hope on paper. Across the room, in the visitor's chair, Leela sits curled up, blazer now hanging over her knees. She clutches a hospital cup of juice. Her eyes are tired, but vigilant. Eric Dane, CEO of Veritas, stands near the foot of the bed, still wearing his designer suit, but now, somehow, it looks out of place. He's staring at Clara like a man trying to remember a dream he once had. A faint knock on the glass. A nurse peeks in. Nurse, are you family? Eric, she interviewed for a position with my company. The nurse hesitates, then nods and disappears. Lila, they let me stay. They said I could, because I came alone. Eric slowly sits down in the second chair beside her. Eric, you shouldn't have had to. Lila, someone had to come. A pause. Eric, you did a brave thing today. Lila, quietly. I was scared, but she told me not to show it. She looks at him now. Really looks. Lila, Cantide. You didn't know her, did you? Eric pauses. Number. Her resume looked familiar. That's all. Lila. She said you used to be poor. Like us. Eric's jaw tightens. He nods. Once. Int. Veritas HQ. Flashback. 15 years ago. Lunchroom. Night. A younger Eric, maybe 30, janitor uniform, is mopping a hallway. A younger Clara, nursing student by day, receptionist by night, is warming a sandwich in the break room. They share a smile. A wordless connection. Clara. Flashback. You're gonna run this place someday. You've got that look. Eric. Flashback. You've got me confused with someone who has a future. They both laugh. The microwave beeps. Int. Hospital. Present. Eric rubs his face slowly, pushing the memory away. Eric. I met her once, a long time ago. Lila doesn't respond. She's watching her mother's hands, motionless beneath the blanket. Lila. Her hands always smelled like cinnamon, even when she was cleaning. Eric's expression falters. He looks around. The room is tiny, cramped. One overhead bulb flickers. His phone buzzes in his pocket. He ignores it. Int. Veritas boardroom. Same time, a heated meeting. Executives are gathered, murmuring with concern. Assistant VP, he walked out mid-meeting, with a child. Senior HR, the woman was an applicant. We should have flagged the emergency. There are protocols, COO, stern. If this leaks, the press will crucify us. CEO interrogates child in job interview. CFO. We could spin it. Humanize him. CEO mentors employee's daughter during crisis. COO. He doesn't mentor. He fires people in elevators. Silence. Then, senior HR. The woman, Clara Monroe, has an excellent record. 2 degrees, community service, clean background. She's overqualified for the role. COO. So why's she applying now? INT. Hospital. Cafeteria. Later, Eric sits with Lila at a table. She nibbles fries. He doesn't touch his food. Eric. How long has it been? Like this? Lila. She worked 3 jobs, nights mostly. She said rent was like feeding a monster. Every month it got hungrier. Eric processes that. Eric. What about your dad? Lila. Don't have one. Beat. Lila. Conted. At least not the kind who shows up. Her voice is matter-of-fact. It's the truth she's long since made peace with. Eric. Softly. You sound older than 8. Lila, 9 in September. She dips a fry in ketchup with military precision. Eric. You memorized her resume. Lila, I helped her write it. Eric finally smiled barely. Int. St. Mary's, waiting area. Night. Lila sleeps on a bench, curled like a cat. Eric stands beside a vending machine, watching. He dials a number. Eric, into phone. It's me. Set up a private room. Pay whatever it costs. She stays until she wakes up, and I want round-the-clock observation. Pause. Eric, conted. Number. I don't care what PR says. Do it quietly. He hangs up. A doctor approaches. Doctor, are you Mr. Dane? Eric, yes. Dr. Clara Monroe suffered a myocardial infarction. Cardiac arrest caused by extreme stress and dehydration. Malnutrition, too. That's rare in this part of the city. Eric doesn't answer. Doctor, Koan to D. Her condition is stable, but touch and go. If she wakes up, she'll need months of recovery. Eric nods once. Doctor, softly. Her daughter, is she really alone? Eric. Not anymore. Nt. Eric's penthouse. Next morning, Lila wakes in a massive modern guest bedroom. Clean sheets, soft pillows, a tray with toast, eggs, fruit. A note beside it. Insert. Handwritten. Note. Eat. You have a long day ahead. Eric. She pads into the hallway, looks around at the high ceilings, art, leather furniture. Then, Eric walks out of the kitchen in sweatpants and a t-shirt, unrecognizable from the CEO suit. Eric. You slept 12 hours. Lila. You have a waterfall in your living room? Eric. It was the architect's idea. She walks to the window. The city sprawls below. Lila, I think I can see our building from here. Eric, I doubt it. Pause. Lila, can we go see her today? Eric, we will. After breakfast. Int, St. Mary's, private suite. Later, Clara is now in a private room. Warm lighting, clean linens, flowers from Veritas Holdings. A nurse adjusts her IV. Eric and Lila enter. Eric, see? Told you she'd be somewhere better. Lila sits beside her mother. I missed you. But I didn't cry. She pulls out a drawing she made on Eric's notepad. It shows Clara in a bed, and Lila beside her smiling. Eric, I have to go to the office, but I'll come back tonight. Lila, promise? He kneels beside her. Eric, promise. Int, Veritas HQ. Later that day, Eric walks in. Silence falls. Executives glance up, waiting for a volcanic outburst. But he says nothing. He walks straight to HR Eric Clara Monroe. Hire her. Medical leave for now. Full benefits. The HR officer blinks. HR director. Sir, that position is Eric, hers, in T, Clara's hospital room, evening. Eric returns. He stands in the doorway. Then he sees it. Clara's eyes are open. Lila is asleep in the chair beside her. Clara's lips tremble. She looks at Eric, confused, pale. Clara, weakly. Lila, came to the interview? Eric's face breaks completely. Eric, softly. She didn't just come. She aced it. Int, St. Mary's private suite. Night-dimmed lights. Monitors beep gently. A humidifier hums. Clara Monroe lies in bed, eyes half open, dazed but conscious. At her side, Eric Dane, seated and silent. His tie is loosened, his face drawn. Lila is curled up on a nearby recliner, fast asleep, wrapped in a blanket. Clara watches her daughter for a moment, weak but focused. Clara, scratchy voice. How long? Was I out? Eric, 4 days. A beat. Clara. Did she? Eric. She showed up, in your blazer, with your resume, walked into my building and demanded to be heard. Clara's lips twitch, a ghost of a smile. Clara. Of course she did. Eric, sincerely. She was extraordinary. A pause. Clara struggles to sit up slightly. Pain flashes through her. Eric, conteed, careful. He gently props her up with an extra pillow. Clara. Why? Are you here? Eric. Because I owe you more than I realized. Clara. Eric Dane, in a hospital, wearing wrinkles? He chuckles quietly, then serious again. Eric. You're hired, executive assistant, full benefits. I put you on medical leave until you're ready. Clara's breath catches. Clara. You can't just... Choking back emotion. I didn't even make it to the lobby. Eric. Your daughter did. Clara. And what PR stunt is this? Eric. This isn't PR. It's me trying to be a human being before there's nothing left of one in me. INT Veritas HQ. Day morning. The lobby is alive again, but people are whispering. Screens show internal bulletins. Veritas welcomes new EA on medical leave. Clara Monroe added to corporate benefits roster. June, 40s, head of legal, frowns at the HR director. June. Tell me this isn't a liability grenade. HR director, he gave verbal approval, sent an encrypted directive. It's official, fully legal. June, we just put a comatose applicant on payroll because a child guilt-tripped the CEO. COO, OS, no. Slow turn. Because the CEO remembered what decency looks like. They all turned to see Eric, stepping into the room with a coffee and no tie. Array. Put the energy you're wasting on damage control into fixing our hiring culture. And while you're at it, recheck all applicants from low-income zip codes. Find out who we're leaving behind. June. Eric. You can't possibly think. Eric. I don't think. I know. She could have been your assistant, June, or legal's, or mine. And we almost missed her. Int. St. Mary's, Clara's room. Night. Clara is stronger now. Sitting up, color returning. Lila braids her own hair in the corner. Clara. You weren't scared? Lila, terrified. Clara. But you went anyway. Lila. I didn't know if I'd do it right. I just knew I had to try. Clara tears up. Clara. I don't know how I raised someone like you. Lila climbs into the bed gently and rests beside her. Leela. You didn't. You became someone like me first. Int. Veritas. Executive floor. Later, Eric steps into his office, newly silent, like a church. A framed photo sits on his desk now, not of his own family, but of Clara and Lila, snapped during a hospital visit, both laughing. He gazes at it for a long time. Then he opens his calendar, cancels 5 back-to-back meetings. Eric, quietly to assistant. Hold everything today. In T, Veritas Child Care Center. Moments later, glass walls, toys, bookshelves. Eric enters. Every adult freezes. Lila sits at a corner table, coloring. She looks up, smiles. Lila, you look tired. Eric, first honest thing anyone said to me today. He sits beside her. Lila, Mom says you used to mop floors here. Eric, I did. Then I started fixing things I wasn't supposed to. Computers, HR software. Lila, were you lonely? A pause. Eric, most days. Yes. Lila, you're not now. She hands him a crayon drawing, a cartoon version of Eric, Clara, and Lila, standing outside the Veritas building. Above them, she's written in bright marker, "The new team, Int, Clara's room, evening." Clara sits up straighter now, reviewing an onboarding packet. Eric stands nearby, sipping a coffee. Clara, you don't have to babysit me. Eric, I'm not. I'm reevaluating the company I thought I built. Clara, you built an empire. That's not nothing. Eric, I built it on speed and fear. I never noticed who we were crushing underneath. He looks at her, eyes softening. Eric, conted. I remember you now. From the break room. Clara freezes. Clara, I thought you'd forgotten. Eric, I never forget a person who looked at me like I mattered. Int, Veritas, lobby, flashback. 15 years ago, young Clara smiles at young Eric. He's in a janitor's uniform, headphones in, tapping mop water from his boots. She hands him half her sandwich. Clara, flashback. No one builds an empire alone. Int, Veritas boardroom, present. Eric calls a meeting. Executives seated. Curious. Eric, from today forward, every final interview must include a blind review. Strip names, addresses, photos. Pure qualification. COO, you're overcorrecting. Eric, am I? He tosses Lila's drawing onto the table. Everyone stares. Eric, con to D. That little girl walked into this building with more grace than half this table shows in a quarter. Silence. Eric, con to D. We don't get to be the company that almost ignored her twice. In T, Clara's room. Later that night, Clara is asleep again. Leela draws quietly in a corner. Eric watches them both, leaning against the doorway. Soft jazz plays faintly from Clara's tablet. He texts his assistant, "No meetings until further notice. Hold all press inquiries. Then, begin researching national child care grants for employees. Start with single-parent homes. Internal Veritas. Internal Bulletin." Next morning, a new post appears. CEO launches equity initiative. No talent left behind. Program begins today. Internal St. Mary's. Discharge day. 1 week later, Clara walks slowly, weak but upright, supported by a nurse. Eric and Lila walk beside her. Outside the hospital, a private car is waiting. Eric opens the door for them. Clara, you didn't have to do this. Eric, yes, I did. CLARA, why? Eric, because your daughter reminded me what leadership looks like. Int, new apartment, evening. A modest but clean 2-bedroom in a safer neighborhood. Veritas has footed the bill. Lila opens the balcony curtain. A sunset washes the room in gold. Clara walks out onto the balcony. Eric stands behind them, quietly. Clara, thank you for seeing us. Eric, thank you for reminding me to look. Lila hugs him without warning, tight, fierce. Eric slowly hugs her back, for the first time, truly present. Inti, Veritas, HQ. Early morning. A pale dawn light bleeds through the glass curtain walls of Veritas headquarters. Inside the lobby, silence. But not for long. A buzz begins, then murmurs, Receptionist, OS. Sir, you need to see this. Inti, Veritas, Executive Office. Minutes later, Eric Dane, hair still damp from the shower, scrolls through his phone. His face stiffens. Little girl shows up to job interview. CEO's reaction stuns everyone. Veritas girl trends as internet reacts to viral interview moment. Who is Lila Monroe? Twitter falls in love with 9-year-old who changed a Fortune 500 CEO. Eric's assistant bursts in. Assistant. It's everywhere. CNN, TikTok, even BBC. They got the lobby security fee. Someone leaked it. Eric, damage? Assistant. Depends who you ask. Half say you're exploiting her. Half say you're a hero. Pause. Eric, and the other half? Assistant. They're asking where they can apply for jobs at Veritas. Inti, Clara's new apartment. Kitchen, same time. A modest breakfast table. Lila eats cereal. Clara, sitting nearby, watches a flood of notifications on her phone. Can we interview Lila on GMA? BuzzFeed request, exclusive interview. CBS, Lila changed the game, trending now. Lila looks up innocently. Lila, why are there cartoons of me? She holds up a tablet, a viral animated TikTok of her interview entrance. Clara nearly drops her coffee. Int, Veritas boardroom. Midday executives argue. CFO, it's a gift. We humanize Eric, boost brand identity, and we didn't even have to plan it. June, legal. We absolutely need consent from Clara and the child. Any photo, footage, even name use. This could implode if mishandled. COO, this could be a goldmine. Eric, quietly. She's not a product. The room freezes. Eric leans forward, voice low but firm. Eric, conted. Not one more document, not one tweet, not one press release goes out unless Clara signs it with both eyes open. Do you hear me? All, yes, sir. Int, Veritas. Marketing department, later. Marketing exec stares at a whiteboard filled with post-it notes. Lila effect. Hope in corporate America. Hero kid? Clara's comeback story? A hand wipes it all clean. Eric, OS. No campaigns, no slogans. They turn. Eric stands in the doorway. Eric, Contid. You want to market something? Start with silence. Inti, Clara's apartment. That night, Clara reads over a thick folder. Veritas media release waiver, image rights, legal advisories. Lila sits beside her with a puzzle. Clara, they want to use your face, your name, your moment. Lila, do I get paid? Clara chokes on a laugh. CLARA, yes and no? Kind of. Lila shrugs. Lila, then only if we can use it for good stuff. Clara, what kind of stuff? Lila, like snacks in waiting rooms, or shoes for kids with holes, or maybe a job where moms don't get sick from working too much. Clara stares at her daughter. Her hand trembles slightly as she reaches for the pen. She signs nothing. Instead, she picks up her phone. Inti. Eric's penthouse. Night, Eric is alone. News loops play quietly on a nearby screen. He pours himself a drink, then stops. A call comes in. Clara, phone. I don't want her to be famous. Eric, then she won't be. CLARA, but I do want this to mean something. Pause. Clara, Con TD. Can we make something real from this? Eric, tell me what you need. Clara, you said you wanted to fix what you built. Eric, I still do. Clara, then let's start with the others like me. the ones who didn't make it past the front desk. Int. Veritas HQ. War Room. Next day. Eric, Clara, Lila, with crayons, and several heads of departments gather. Clara speaks clearly. Stronger now. Clara, you have hundreds of job applications from single parents, immigrants, disabled candidates, people who never got callbacks. Let's start there. Eric, reopen the pipeline. Re-review all applications from the last 12 months with new filters. COO. You want to reprocess 5,000 applicants? Eric, I want to find the ones we missed. HR Director. And after that, Eric turns to Clara. She answers, Clara. We give them what I never had. Support. Training. Away in. In-T. Newsroom. CNN Live. Days later, a segment plays. Clara Monroe, former hospital patient and mother of viral sensation Lila Monroe, joins Veritas to lead a new department focused on accessibility and inclusion. The screen shows Clara at a press conference, modestly dressed, smiling nervously. Lila sits beside her with a sticker badge. Chief Hope Officer. Int. Veritas, HQ. Weeks later, a massive open house, job fair booths, families, coffee and food stations. Clara and Eric walk the floor together. Clara. You sure you're okay not being the face of this? Eric. It never should have been mine. He looks at her. Eric, Contied. It was always yours. Inti. Veritas. HQ. Child Care Center. Same time, Lila teaches 2 other kids how to make paper cranes. She wears a handmade lanyard. Team Leila. Nearby, a wall features art drawn by children of Veritas employees. Above it, a new mural. It started with a little girl who refused to wait. Int. Clara's office. Night late. Clara packs up files. Eric knocks gently, then enters. Eric. The board wants you on the executive track. CLARA. Tell the board I'm fine where I am. Eric. You're not curious? Clara. I'm rebuilding a bridge, Eric, 1 brick at a time. Pause. Eric. You know she changed me. CLARA number. She smiles. We did. They stand in silence for a moment, surrounded by the soft hum of a company being reborn. Fade out. Int. Veritas. Newsroom monitor. Wall. Early morning. A wall of muted screens flickers with news. Clara's face, Lila's laugh, Eric's name. But not all headlines are glowing. Lila's legacy. Heartwarming or PR stunt? Corporate guilt or strategic marketing? Should a child influence corporate hiring? An intern flips through TikTok. A new trend. Number sign Veritas Kid, with parody videos, edits, mock interviews. He looks at the screen, uncomfortable. In-T. Clara's apartment, living room. Later, Clara scrolls her phone. More headlines. Child labor or childhood lost? Where is Lila's father? Monroe, the Cinderella CEO? She stares at the last one, a blurred photo of her from 5 years ago. No makeup. Holding baby Lila. In a food bank line. Lila peeks into the room. Lila? Is something wrong? Clara quickly hides phone. No, honey, just grown-up stuff. Lila, is it the mean ones again? Clara doesn't answer. Lila walks to her, confident but soft. Lila, Contied. They don't get to decide who I am. Int. Veritas, Clara's office. Day Clara enters. On her desk, a single envelope. Handwritten. No stamp, no return address. Inside, a printed email thread between HR and legal, dated 2 months before her coma. Applicant flagged for unstable employment history. Red flag. Single mother. Prior late rent notice. No backup references. Reject. Move on. Times suck. At the bottom, her own resume. Stamped, discarded. Clara sits, frozen. She knows exactly what it means. Int. Veritas. Executive floor, conference room. Moments later, Eric walks into a mid-level strategy meeting. Stops. Clara stands at the window, holding the email. She doesn't speak, just hands it to him. He reads it. Pale. Eric. This was before Clara. Before she walked in. Before you remembered me. A long pause. Eric. Do you want me to fire them? CLARA number Eric. Then what? Clara turns, eyes calm but burning. Clara. I want their jobs to be as uncomfortable as mine used to be. And I want every manager in this building to read this. Out loud. In T. Veritas. Company Town Hall. Next week, employees crowd the atrium. Clara stands on a small stage. A projector shines behind her, her own resume, zoomed in on flaws. Clara. They saw a mother. A delay. A missed rent. They called it a red flag. Beat. Clara. Conted. But the only red flag was the one waving from their desk, the kind that said, "We don't want your kind here." Silence. Then a ripple of applause. Small, then louder, then thunderous. In T. Veritas. Boardroom. Later that day, the board of directors sits across from Eric and Clara. Board chair, Eric. This isn't sustainable. We've had a 20% drop in investor confidence. Eric. They'll recover. Board chair. You're pushing a story that's beginning to feel manufactured. Clara leans forward. Clara. Did I manufacture my coma? My eviction notices? Or my daughter walking into your building? Board member. We're just saying, this is bigger than your story now. Clara. It was never just my story. In T. Veritas. Parking garage. Night, Eric and Clara walk together. The air is heavy. Exhaust fans hum overhead. Eric. You ever wonder if maybe we shouldn't have let the world see? Clara. All the time. Eric. And? She sighs. Clara. And then I remember, I'm not ashamed. Just tired. Eric nods. Eric. There's a cost to doing the right thing. Clara. But there's a bigger cost when you don't. In T. Clara's apartment. Night, a knock at the door. She opens it, finds an envelope on the floor. Inside, a note. I was the recruiter who threw out your resume. I'm so sorry. I quit. I'm starting over. You helped me see that. Clara folds the note, breathes deep. Lila peeks from behind her. Lila. Another one. Clara nods. Lila. You should keep them all. For when you're old and forget how cool you are. Int. Veritas. The Lila Room. Weeks later, a new creative space. Lounge style. Writing pads. Chalkboard walls. Kids. Parents. Interns from low-income backgrounds. Lila is there, showing someone how to fold cranes. Clara watches from the doorway. Eric steps beside her. Eric. We're getting applications from places we've never touched before. CLARA and Eric. And they're not just good enough, they're better. Int. Conference room, live streaming event, night. Clara sits for a live stream with thousands watching. The host asks, Host, how does it feel to be a symbol of change? Clara pauses, looks directly into the camera. CLARA. I'm not a symbol. I'm just a woman who got lucky. Because my daughter refused to be invisible. She glances off camera. At Lila. Watching. Beaming. Clara, adicanted. And the truth is, you shouldn't need a miracle, or a child, to be seen. Inti Veritas. Break room. Day of freshly posted notice. New hiring model launch. Blind review. Bias-free training. Paid support for working parents. A janitor, much like Eric used to be, reads it, smiles slightly. He pulls out his phone and starts his own application. In NT. Clara's office. Night lights dim. She sits alone. Hundreds of letters, notes, and resumes surround her. Her eyes scan one. She starts a reply. She doesn't just answer them. She rewrites everything they were int. National Morning TV Studio. Day bright lights, glossy floors, a studio audience. Lila, now 10, sits uncomfortably on a velvet chair. Legs dangling, huge cameras pointed at her. The host smiles with plastic warmth. TV host. And tell us, sweetie, when did you first know you were changing the world? Lila blinks. Lila, I just wanted my mom to feel better. Polite chuckles from the audience. TV host. But now, you're what people are calling a symbol of hope. That's a big responsibility, huh? Lila fidgets. A bead of sweat forms on her temple. Behind the camera, Clara, standing off stage, watches in growing discomfort. Inti. Veritas. Clara's office. Later, Lila sits curled up on the couch, eyes dull. She's unusually quiet. Clara, want to talk about it? Layla. They wanted me to say something brave. Clara. You are brave. Lila shakes her head. Lila. No. They wanted the internet kind of brave. She buries her face in a pillow. Inti. Veritas. Eric's office. Next day, Eric reads an email from marketing, requesting Lila's participation in Veritas' back-to-school ad campaign. Theme: Bravery starts young. He deletes it. Without blinking. Eric, to assistant. Tell them, she's not a brand. In T. Clara's apartment, living room, night, rain outside, the city quiet. Clara and Eric sit together, old Chinese takeout containers between them, exhaustion in their posture. Eric. She's retreating. Clara. She's a child. She wants to draw pictures and be weird and sleep in. That should be okay. Eric, but people don't want okay. They want the next headline. Beat. Clara. Then maybe we let them forget us for a while. Eric looks up, surprised. Eric, you're thinking of pulling back? Clara. I'm thinking of pulling her out. Let her be a kid again, while she still has time. In T. Veritas. The Lila room. Early morning. The chalkboard is covered in strange, childish scribbles. In one corner, a messy, angry crayon sketch of a stage. Cameras. A tiny figure drawn under a spotlight. Lila's handwriting. I don't want to be the brave girl anymore. Clara stands frozen in front of it. Int. Eric's penthouse. Same night, Eric pours a drink. The city stretches below him, glass and steel blinking. His phone buzzes. A text from Clara. She's not sleeping. We need a break. Don't fight me on this. He stares out the window for a long time. Inti. Veritas. Press conference room. Next day, a press conference has been scheduled. Journalists murmuring, cameras ready. Eric walks out alone. No Clara, no Lila. He approaches the podium. Eric effective immediately. Veritas is removing all public campaigns, endorsements, and partnerships involving Lila Monroe. Pause. Murmurs ripple. Eric, Contide. She is not a hero. She is not a mascot. She is a child. And we owe her the gift every child deserves. Privacy. He walks off. No questions. In T. Clara's apartment. That night, the apartment is dark except for the glow of the TV. A slow jazz channel hums quietly. Clara sits in bed beside Lila, who's fast asleep, curled against her. On the nightstand, a handmade drawing. A house. A garden. Lila and Clara holding hands. At the top, Lila has written, When I grow up, I want to build places where tired moms can rest. Clara wipes away a quiet tear. Int. Eric's penthouse. Night, Eric opens an old box from storage. Inside, a dusty resume. Name, Erica Dane. Job, title, custodian. Building 3 application date, 2001. He stares at it, remembering the floor mopping, the dismissive stares, the back pain. He gently lays it on his desk beside Clara's old resume. 2 documents, 20 years apart. Same story. In T. Veritas. Boardroom. Day. Clara addresses the board. Clara. We need to stop relying on lightning strikes and media moments to fix what's broken. Board chair. You're suggesting what? A permanent system? CLARA, yes. One that doesn't need a miracle child to point out a broken door. Inner city, public school. Day. Clara walks the halls of a local elementary school. Lila holds her hand. She meets with the principal. A handshake. Smiles. EXT. Same school. Later, a new banner is raised. In partnership with Veritas, Community Access Hiring Pipeline Launch. Children wave goodbye as Clara and Lila step into their car. In T, Clara's apartment, bedroom, night. Clara reads a bedtime story to Lila, but Lila stops her mid-sentence. Lila, you know what I want now? Clara, what? Lila, not to be special, just to feel okay. Clara smiles. Clara, that's the bravest thing you've ever said. In T, Veritas HQ, months later. Quiet morning. A new class of interns arrives, diverse, nervous, hopeful. One young woman carries a folder. Inside is a photo of Lila. It's folded gently, taped inside. She doesn't show it. She just keeps it close. Lila may be out of sight now, but her ripple moves underground. Quiet, powerful, unstoppable. Told they lacked. Montage. An older janitor at Veritas gets promoted to logistics manager. A single mother receives a letter. You've been selected for our inclusive leadership track. A girl sketches at her desk. She's wearing a Lila Room hoodie. Clara closes her laptop at the end of a long day, walks into the other room. Lila is painting clouds on the wall. Int Veritas, new employee. Wall, night, a new plaque is installed. Not a trophy, not a slogan, just a simple quote. You don't need to be brave to be seen. You just need someone to open the door. Signed underneath, LMX Veritas. Early morning. A new day, the sun rises slowly behind the Veritas Tower. Its silhouette is unchanged, but the energy inside is not. On the sidewalk outside, a long line of applicants waits. But this isn't like before. There's no red ropes, no security gate, no dress code. A sign reads, walk-in interviews, no resume required, just your story. Inside, Clara sits at a folding table, listening. No clipboard, no laptop, just eyes, ears, and respect. NT, Community Center, Detroit. Later, a modest room, folding chairs, parents, veterans, formerly incarcerated individuals, people who've never had access. Clara stands at the front, a worn messenger bag over her shoulder. She flips open a whiteboard. Clara, we're not looking for perfect people. We're looking for undervalued brilliance. Applause. A man in the back stands slowly. Man, you really think someone like me could work for a tech firm? Clara, you don't have to work for one. You can help build one. The room stirs. Int Veritas, Rewrite Initiative Office. Weeks later, a new division. Makeshift desks, loud conversations, ideas scribbled on every wall. A map on the screen marks 35 cities. Red dots blink. Clara and Eric walk past rows of volunteers and coordinators. Eric, we're in over our heads, you know that? CLARA good. Means we're doing something worth drowning for. They laugh. For once, lightness. Int, small home, Phoenix, night. A single mom opens her mailbox. A letter. Veritas Community Accelerator. She opens it slowly. Your story inspired us. You've been accepted into our mentorship program. She clutches the letter to her chest. Her child watches her, quietly memorizing the moment. NT, School Gymnasium, South Bronx, evening. A makeshift job fair. No suits, no briefcases, just opportunity. Clara moves through the crowd. She passes a teenage girl holding a sign. Too smart to be invisible. Clara stops, smiles. Clara, that should be on a billboard. The girl grins. Girl, it will be. Inti. Lila's bedroom, night. Leila, now 11, draws at her desk. She's sketching a building. Glass, green, modern. A banner across the front. The house for tired moms. Clara peeks in. Clara, is that your dream house? LILA number. That's for someone else. Mine's smaller. Has pancakes. Clara smiles, walking in. Clara, what's this big one made of? Lila thinks. Lila. People who believed in second chances. Int Veritas. Boardroom. Day. Clara presents the first annual rewrite report to the board. On screen, metrics of their hiring revolution. 6,200 plus new hires from underserved backgrounds, 83% employee retention, 17% increase in company productivity. 3 countries piloting the model, Clara. These aren't numbers. These are people who were told, not this time, until someone said, why not them? A board member leans back, impressed. Board member, you built this in a year. Clara. We started it with a single yes. Any meant a documentary film set, dark background. A close-up interview with Clara. The interviewer's voice is calm. Interviewer, OS. Do you remember the moment it stopped being about you? Clara's face softens. CLARA, yes. When I realized I wasn't fixing a system that rejected me. I was designing one that wouldn't need to be forgiven in the first place. Int Veritas, open campus space. Day, a diverse group of teenagers tours the building. They stop at the Lila room. Lila, now older, greets them herself. She's holding a small notebook. Inside, handwritten questions. Lila. Okay, first question. What do you love that people told you wasn't useful? They smile, think. One by one, they begin to answer. Lila listens, intently, like her mom taught her. Tai, quiet cafe, Clara and Eric. Night years have passed. Clara has new lines around her eyes. Eric's beard is gray at the edges. They sip tea in silence for a while. Eric. It's strange. We're not on the front page anymore. Clara. Maybe that's the point. Eric. You miss it? She considers. Clara. I miss what it made us do, but not what it made us become. In tea. Home basement. Young man on computer. Night, a teenage boy in New Orleans, watches a grainy clip of Lila's first interview. He rewinds it. Again, she says, I just wanted my mom to feel better. He closes the laptop, pulls out his notebook, starts sketching a logo. Project Rebuild. Montage. Ripple effects worldwide. A construction worker in India reads about Veritas in a translated tech journal. A community hiring fair launches in Nairobi, inspired by the rewrite model. An old woman in rural Texas knits a quilt of first hires across the country. A teacher in Poland uses Lila's story in a curriculum on moral leadership in tea. Quiet library. Lila, teenager now. Day, Lila is older now. Headphones in, researching, studying. On her notebook is a sticker. Quiet power is still power. She closes the book, tucks a pen behind her ear, gets up, walks out into the daylight. EXT. Rooftop, sunset, Clara and Lila. They sit together in silence, watching the sun go down. Lila sips from a mug. Layla. You ever wonder if the world went back to normal? Clara. It didn't. Lila. How do you know? Clara looks at her daughter. Strong, steady, still hers. Clara. Because I'm looking at what came next. They clink mugs gently. Quiet, victory. The door that stayed open. EXT. Small campus. Early morning, a fog-laced autumn morning. Banners flap quietly. Welcome to the first annual Rewrite Fellowship Retreat. Among the crowd, Lila, now 18, taller, wiser, but still her mother's daughter. She carries a duffel bag and a weather-worn sketchbook. Around her, 100 young people, all former misfits, all future architects of something better. In tea, cabin room. Day. Lila opens her notebook. Inside, pressed flowers, program pamphlets, a photo of Clara and herself on Veritas's roof years ago. A single quote is scrawled across the inside cover. If the system doesn't see you, rewrite the system. She runs her fingers over the ink. Int Retreat Hall. Night. Lila stands on stage, nervous, a mic in front of her. No teleprompter, just her. The crowd is silent, listening. Lila. When I was little, someone opened a door for me. She didn't mean to. She just needed help. But when she got through, she left it open. For me and for you. Beat. Leela, Contid. You don't have to be a genius to change the world. You just have to be uncomfortable enough to stop accepting it as it is. Scattered applause becomes a wave. She bows her head, not in pride, but in purpose. Int. Clara's apartment. Same time. Clara watches the live stream on an old laptop. Alone, coffee in hand. She smiles softly, but doesn't cry. She's seen too much to need to anymore. Inti, Veritas, the Lila room. Years later, dusty now, faded chalk, still loved. A new generation of kids is touring the room. One young girl points to the wall where Lila once wrote, "I don't want to be the brave girl anymore." GIRL. What does that mean? The guide smiles. Guide. It means she finally didn't have to be. Int, small tech startup, another city. Later, a young founder sits with her team. They're designing a new platform that matches single parents with local, dignified work. On the wall, a signed photo of Clara and Lila. In the corner of the screen, powered by Rewrite API, Veritas Legacy Fund, EXT. Veritas, Future Scene, Day. A plaque on the building's new wing reads, "The Clara Monroe Center for Equity and Access" below it. A second line added in gold, founded in honor of Lila Monroe, architect of belief in tea. University Lecture Hall. Year 2040, evening. A young professor lectures. Professor the Veritas. Rewrite initiative wasn't a marketing strategy. It was a cultural reset, started by a janitor who asked to be heard, and a child who refused to be quiet. He turns to a photo of Lila at age 8. Then one of Clara in her old uniform. Then a crowd of new faces, building what they began. Professor Con TD. If you want to understand the 21st century, start there. Inti, Lila's home, night. Decades later. Leela, now grown, sits on her porch. A young girl, her daughter, curls beside her with a book. Daughter, Mom, were you really on TV when you were little? Lila, smiling. Yeah. Daughter. Why? Lila thinks, long and slow. Lila. Because your grandma showed up when nobody expected her to, and the world accidentally watched me grow up. Daughter. Is that scary? Lila. Only when they forgot I was a kid. They sit in silence for a moment. Daughter. Do you miss it? LLIL. A number. Because now I get to decide what comes next. Montage, where it all led. A global network of rewrite labs mentoring underrepresented youth, blue-collar internships flooding the tech sector, public hiring boards at every Fortune 500 entrance. A class graduation with caps that read, "Hired on merit, not polish." Lila visiting her mom's old neighborhood, now home to a community garden and a tech access library NT. New city. Random apartment. Night, a little girl helps her mom get dressed for a job interview. She ties her mom's shoelaces. Girl, you look like a boss. Mom, smiling nervously, I don't feel like one. Girl, then pretend like that kid did. Remember? The one with the purple boots? EXT, same building. Moments later, the mom walks into a sleek new office. The receptionist smiles. Receptionist. Welcome. Do you have a resume? MOM, not exactly. She reaches into her bag, pulls out a drawing from her daughter. A crayon rainbow. The receptionist takes it, nods, leads her in. Final scene. The door. The camera pans down a long hallway, echoes of footsteps, doors on both sides, some open, some locked. One door creaks open. It's Lila, now midlife, standing beside it. She holds it open, looks down the hall, smiles. A hand reaches in, small, young, uncertain. She doesn't push them, just waits. Lila, softly. Come in. It's your turn now. Fade to black. End of Part 8. Series finale.